What is up, Fightful Faithful? Welcome back to a brand new interview here on Fightful Overbooked, where I am here, Corey Brennan, here today with Mr. KC Navarro ahead of Progress Strong Style, Super Strong Style 16 this weekend. How are you doing today, Casey?
No other words but blessed, man. I'm great. I'm blessed, man. Blessed to be here.
It's perfect, man. And we'll get straight into Super Strong Style 16. Big tournament, obviously. You're familiar with being in Progress, first time in the tournament, however. You are facing Tate Mayfair in the opening round. Some thoughts on Tate in general and just being in the tournament?
I mean, I think it's no secret. I have a lot of respect for Tate. When I debuted in Progress, he was kind of the first person I got introduced to because I was on his team.
Yeah.
Even though the fans did not want to see me on his team. And after I heard about him, part of me didn't want to be on his team either. I didn't want to be hated by the locker room before I get there. But Tate's been doing amazing things. I mean, he's a world champion, undefeated in the last year, I believe. But, he's been talking a lot about me and ever since they announced me and him on everything. And he talks about he's a world champion. I think Tate seems to forget that I am the truly blessed Warrior world champion. I mean, even though unfortunately, Warrior right now, it doesn't look like they're coming back, but it's okay.
It's okay.
I'm this pink title before the Acclaimed. Okay. Let me put that out there. Okay. Anthony Bowens, you know what I'm talking about. I made this before they did. And maybe I'll have my own new world title for Super Strong Style. So we're not going to worry about this. But however, forget also, I have another belt. And I have another belt. And I also have another one. So really, he's underestimating me a lot. He wasn't in the ring with me against me. He was on his team. And not only that, I'm not the guy that lost the match either. So I kind of proved myself the next time I came back to Progress, not because Tate brought me back to Progress, because the fans wanted me back. So let me make that clear as well, because that's another thing I don't like that Tate says. Oh, I gave him the rub. You didn't do nothing, dude. You did nothing. But fans want to be back, and I proved myself. I defended my world title. I retained it, and I think I did enough to impress the office that now I'm in the Super Strong Style 16, and I think there's no better way to start it off than to put me against Tate to prove myself.
And it is a very, very stacked tournament this year. 16, the best as ever. Is there anyone in the tournament that you're looking forward to possibly crossing paths with for the first time?
Leon Slater. He's definitely a guy I have my eyes on. And I also definitely want either Shelton Benjamin. I think that's no surprise. And Mike Santana, just because of the history. My sister Diamante was in LAX with him. So there's always been a history there. It's kind of like family in a sense, Mike. And I never wrestled him, ever. Been on multiple shows in the U.S. Not once have we ever been in the ring in any type of capacity. No backstage segment, no nothing. So definitely Mike Santana is another guy I definitely want to cross it up with in there.
Yeah, and it's obviously you do win the tournament. The first thing that comes after that is a Progress world title shot. Kid Like Us, current champion, he is going up against Mark Haskins on Sunday. Do you have a preference if you win the tournament? Is there either of them that you want to get in the ring with?
I definitely want Kid Like Us. I think, and I have a lot of respect for Mike, but I want Kid Like Us. I love what he's about. I love what he's been doing since being the champion. And I've been a fan of his since I came to Progress. So he's definitely a guy I'd want to cross it up with. So I hope he retains it.
Yeah. And so, like you said, you've plenty of championships already. But the man who you are facing, Tate, he is the TNT world champion. So if you do end his unbeaten streak in Progress, on top of that, you've beat the TNT world champion. Do you think maybe a trip to TNT wrestling might be on the cards?
The automatic number one contender.
Hey, you gotta talk to TNT there. I'm just asking the question, man.
I gotta talk to TNT. I have to have a talk with TNA. When I was 19, I pinned Rich Swann while he was X Division champion. So technically, I should be number one contender. I'm still waiting for my shot. Instead, when I showed up to TNA, they gave me the digital media championship match. Whatever, it's fine. But yeah, I'm still waiting for that too. But I'm gonna have to talk with TNT after this for sure. 100%. Yeah, I agree.
And somewhere that you have, and obviously Progress do have this working relationship or / merger with Defy. You're no stranger to Defy. some of the Progress guys that I've talked to have said that they are interested in coming over to the States. You're coming over to Britain for Super Strong Style. Is there anyone that you want to say, come over to my neck of the woods and let's dance and defy?
Honestly, everybody.
Everyone, yeah.
I'll take on everybody. I think everybody's so talented. Like I couldn't believe it when I came last August. A lot of the guys I wasn't familiar with, a lot of the guys and girls, and I sat by the monitor. I watched the matches, and if I wasn't by the monitor, I watched it back later on when the show was over. And I mean, the amount of talent that's at Progress, like literally, I call it my second home because I just feel like I'm on another level when I'm there because those guys and girls bring me to a different level that sometimes I don't feel in the U.S. at some of the indie shows. So I'd welcome them all. And I think Defy would as well. Everybody's so talented. And I would love for them and the US fans to be able to see them if they're not seeing them already.
Last time you're saying, as you said, you're going to bring your belts. You're going to make sure to remind Tate that you have them. But last time
like Tate, it's a little heavy to carry.
Luggage. Your luggage going through security.
Weight limit. They're going to charge me. I think they charge that. Who's going to pay? But that's what I mean. Like, that Warrior title, I think it's time to rest in peace. It's been great. But I've been praying a lot. I have a feeling that God's going to bless me with a nice brand new world championship just for me. And that will be the title I bring to Super Strong Style. And I'll let these other babies rest at home, especially this one, because I got to defend this tomorrow night at House of Glory. So, I want it to rest after I successfully defend it tomorrow. And I'll have my other one.
Don't want your bets getting any jet lag anyway.
Yeah.
But I do have to say, I did ask Tate before our interview today if he had any questions for you. And what he did say was he wanted to know if he could get you any tickets to London Zoo, because he thinks that after night 1 of Super Strong Style 16, you're going to have some free time in London. So he wants to know if you want some free tickets there. I can imagine what you're going to say back to this. But that's his question.
If I want to the London Zoo?
Yeah, that's what he said. He wants a nice day out for you, apparently, I guess. I
don't know how he knew. I love the zoo. I love the zoo. He's such a baboon. Does he work there? Is that why he can get free tickets for me?
I don't know. I'll have to look into that.
He must be the guy that stands there while the monkeys throw poop at him. He's that type of guy. He's definitely that type of guy. I mean, he's rolling around in dirt in Africa. I see him. I see what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like, and all those guys are there 10 times more talented than Tate. 10 times more talented. Listen, I love Tate. I really love Tate. But come on.
Come on.
I mean, listen, I'd be blessed with a free zoo day. I really would. I'm sure the weather will be nice. I love the zoo. I love looking at all the animals. I said this once. I'm going to say it again with Tate. Tate thinks he's great, but he is not blessed. This is the Super Strong Style 16, where Progress brings the best of the best. But I don't call myself the best of the best like everyone else. I call myself the blessed of the best because there's only one blessed one out of all the best of them, and you're looking at him. This Sunday, it is going to be no different. I'm going to prove what I've always been proven at Progress, and that is that I am the blessed of the best. That is that there's a reason why I have multiple championships, which one of which is a world title. And I'm coming for another world championship. If there's one thing I haven't done in my 9-year career, which, by the way, today's my 9-year anniversary. Okay, I started.
Congratulations! Congratulations!
Thank you so much.
I should know that.
It's okay. It's okay. And I said it in my post. I have, beat the best. I have fought the best. I have won championships all across the country. But if there's one thing I haven't done, was win a title overseas. I've made titles, world titles, by bringing them overseas, but I've never taken a title from overseas and brought it here. So that's definitely one thing out of the long list of things I've done in my short career that I haven't done yet. And I have to go through Tate first. That's what I'm going to do.
And I spoke with Kid Lycos as well earlier in the week, and one of the things he did mention was how important fan support can be going through the tournament. Obviously, he won last year more than anyone. He knows what that's like. For you, is that something that you've been training for specifically? Obviously, it's 4 matches to win the entire tournament. It's within just a 3-day period. So Is that something that you've done previously on the independent scene? Is that something that's prepared you for that, or is it something that you're kind of is a little bit daunting?
So I'm no stranger to tournaments. I just recently did the Shad Gaspar Memorial Cup. I did the TNA. Well, it was Impact Super X Cup. So I'm no stranger to tournaments. This one specifically, I've been training for, and the way I've been training for it is whether I am in the ring multiple times a week, I am training harder in the gym, I am taking on bigger challengers. Like I was calling out Mustafa Ali, and I wrestled Mustafa Ali, and then the next day I wrestled again. The night before that I wrestled. I am wrestling multiple times a week, and I was kind of like taking it back a little bit in 2023. 2023 was a bit of a rough year for me personally, and I tried to take things back, but now I'm at this different level. When I got called for this tournament, this tournament's everything for me. This is what I wanted. I needed a moment like this. I needed a shot like this, and Progress, you know, they gave me that opportunity. So I'm very excited for this. I'm very, very well prepared. Like that's the thing. That's why I laugh at Tate and I laugh at the things that he says. Cause I mean, like I said, he's really good. I have respect for him, but it's like, I don't think he's really thinking about who he's going up against. I think he's just thinking about, oh, he was on my team. Oh, we lost the match. I mean, listen, like, I really don't think he's taking into account what I have done and what I am doing and what I'm doing to prepare for this. So I think he's going to be caught by surprise. I'm very calm about this. While he's talking, I'm just kind of like, whatever, dude. I'm still going to defend all my titles, still keep them all, and I'm still going to come there and beat you. But, you know, I know that it's not going to be easy. I'm not going to walk in here like he's saying, oh, I'm going to knock out KC. Nah, I know it's not going to be easy wrestling him. I know there's a lot of things I got to watch out for. You know, he's a cheater. I know he's got that brass knucks. I'm going to have to watch out for that. But I respect that because, you know, on the States and anywhere, you know, I don't consider myself a baby or a heel. I don't consider myself this good guy, bad guy. Like, you like me? You like me. You don't? You don't. It's like a House of Glory. I think it's like, I always use them as a perfect example with their fan base because, you know, there's a lot of people. I always get that mixed reaction when they come out. A lot of people that boo me because I will low blow somebody and poke them in the eye just to win the match. Because at the end of the day, a win's a win. That's where I respect Tate. At the end of the day, a win's a win. It's not going to say in the record books, this guy low blow this guy to win. It's going to be Tate.
This guy won.
KC Navarro defeated this guy. It doesn't matter how you win. At the end of the day, you win. So, like, I get it. That's where I respect guys like Eddie Guerrero, right? Lie, cheat, steal. I get it. I get it. So I'm already very well prepared for Tate, and that's the thing. Like, I just don't think he's wrestled anybody that has all these things already ahead that they do already. And I feel like I do it in a very sneakier way, in a very more advanced way. So I'm already prepared for him.
And you mentioned the match with Mustafa Ali, and I do want to ask you about that. How much you learned from that? How much of it just experience it was to wrestle Mustafa? Because he's on the run of his life right now. It feels like on the indie scene, I feel like he's completely rejuvenated, and you were one of the highlights of that so far, in my opinion, at least. So, just general thoughts on it.
It was great. You know, Mustafa is one of those guys that like you look up to. Like he's not a very big guy, and like I'm not a big guy. Anybody knows I'm not a big guy. I'm like 5'6", I'm 150 pounds. You know, I'm not that big. But Mustafa Ali was one of those guys that faced adversity and like people not wanting to see him be that guy. And he was always so good. And I feel like when he believed in himself, he was like, I need to get out of here. And then they finally got rid of him. And I mean, look what he's been doing. I mean, I am number 33 and 33-0. I have to take that. But the way he moves in that ring, it's not like anybody I've ever been in the ring with. But it reminded me a lot of myself, and that's what he said on the mic for our match. Like after the match, he was like, you know, I've faced a lot of people, but you know, KC's one of those guys. Is like one of the only guys I can look at as a guy that when I'm in the ring, like reminds me of me. And when I wrestled Buddy Matthews on his first independent match back after he got released, and you know, I had a documentary film that never got released, but I have the clip where he even said, like, oh, you know, KC Navarro reminds me a lot of Mustafa Ali. Like, and when I compare somebody to Mustafa Ali, that's grade A. And I understand why he said that now, because Mustafa Ali is a grade A talent. And being in the ring with him, like, I got to feel that. So, you know, Mustafa's great. Learning from him was even better. The advice that he's given me and the help that he's done, like, I have nothing but respect for him. And I hope I get to mix it up with him again in the future.
And the last time you were in the UK with Progress, you actually, like, you're not taking it this time, but you did take the Warrior World title with you last time. You defended it successfully in the UK. What did that mean? Like you said, you want to win a title overseas. That's a goal of yours. But to defend that title overseas in Progress, what did that mean for you?
Oh man, that was the most important title defense for me. Progress was one of those companies I always had on the bucket list. Like, I'm sure I have my notes somewhere in my phone, like from 2016, and like Progress was on there. Like, that was one of the places I've always wanted to go. And I got to take the title, I got to bring it to Australia, and then I got to bring it to Canada. And like, they were cool. Australia was cool because it was the first time I was international. Canada was kind of like the US. It wasn't that much of a difference, but it was cool. But when I got the call to go do it at Progress, like, that meant a lot to me. It showed that like what I was doing like was catching fire and getting a lot of attention because I was defending it all over the US, and then I was also bringing it in other places. But when Progress got it, they hit me up to come down and like, hey, we want you to defend this. That meant everything to me. Like, it was so cool. And you work so hard for certain things, and when like I worked hard, like I had to fill big shoes beating Will Ospreay winning that title. Nobody and none of the Warrior fan base wanted to see me with that, man. I was booed bad. Like, they were kind of just like he's a transition champion. Little did they know I was going to be the last champion, and not only the last, but the youngest champion, the longest reigning champion, the only guy to wrestle at all the Warrior venues, the only guy to defend the title outside of the country and make it a world title. Like, I was doubted, but man, I shut everybody up, and I had to be different. Like, and that was when I was like, all right, I'm trying to get in Australia, but I'm not taking your black belt. I'm not doing that. I'm going to pay myself, because I'm going to invest in myself. I'm big in investing myself all the time. You always see my gear, right? My gear is always on point. You think I'm not going to have new gear for Super Strong Style? Come on. Come on. But like, I took that belt. I turned it pink. I made it mine. And I took that thing everywhere. And when I took it to England, it was showing my hard work for what I did. And it meant everything to me.
And you just mentioned it. I was going to ask a little later, but you've said it now. Your gear, like you said, it's so important to your entire presentation. You said it. You've new gear all the time. Do we get a little tease at what you've got cooking up for Super Strong Style?
Do I want to show you? I'm a big like, you should really wait.
But also at the same time, it's like,
what?
Excited.
Where's my pink iPhone? No. We're Super Strong Style. But I'm very excited. Yeah, I feel like that's so important. I feel like presentation. I mean, that was one thing, anybody that's mentored me, trained me, or anybody that I've ever met, like a Mustafa Ali, like, they always told me presentation is everything. And, I was never the biggest guy. Like, now I have some muscle. I feel pretty good now. Like, now I'm actually taken serious. But, when I was like 16, 17, 18, I'm still growing up. I wasn't that big, but my presentation was everything to me. And I'm always investing in gear. And I feel like there's not a lot of guys that will do that. Like, I invest everything I do into this. This is everything to me. I mean, like, it's I don't think it's a secret, but the first 2 times I went to Progress, I flew myself. I sent myself out there. So like, because I wanted to be there. When they gave me the opportunity and they were like, you could be here, I said, don't worry, I will fly myself. I will be there.
Yeah.
Like, and I got new gear for it. I got shirts for it. You think I'm not going to have shirts too? Come on. The game.
That merch table is going to be popping.
Merch is everything. Shout out Matt Cardona for helping me with that one. But like, I feel like guys have to invest in their career. Like, I have a promo coming out for Super Strong Style. I'm not sure if it's out today or tomorrow, but it will be out before Super Strong Style. I filmed it yesterday. Ooh, what a day. But, Progress wanted a promo because every time I've given them a promo, it's been grade A. I try to avoid doing the phone thing. If I'm going to do a promo, if I call myself blessed, then it better be the best stuff out there.
Yeah.
It better be like high quality, TV ready type stuff. Cause that's the goal, right?
What people want to say. Right.
And I feel like I'm always doing things. Like, I was thinking about that yesterday. Like, when I went through hell to get this promo done. Like, I had to go all the way to New York City to film it. I had to take subways. I don't know nothing about subways, man. I'm Miami, Jersey. No one does that here. No one does that. So like, but I went through a lot just to film that promo, and I do that all the time. And I feel like I wish more guys would literally, take that step, because I feel like a lot more people would be taken serious if they took that step to connect with the fans in a different way, in a more high quality type of way.
And you're kind of like you have mentioned it a couple of times, when you did win the Warrior Wrestling Championship, you did take it off Will Ospreay, and you're heading to the UK, you're heading to Progress. You've been to Progress a couple of times now. You've been around, and I feel like you've been around enough to know how important Will was to the British scene, right? Yeah. Even as someone coming in. So this will be kind of your first time in the UK scene where Will's kind of finished up.
Right.
He's gone. So do you think, as someone who's from the outside looking in, is there people in the scene, in the UK scene, to you that stand out as the guy who can step into Ospreay's shoes?
Man,
it's a loaded question, I know, but
there's a lot of guys. I mean, style wise, there's different guys. I think presence wise, it's gonna sound crazy, and it might blow up his head, and it's gonna be probably a shock for me to say, but Tate.
I can see that, yeah.
I think Tate could be that guy. The way he carries himself, like I listen, I don't like the stuff he's been saying about me, but there's respect at the end of the day. I'm not gonna hide it. You know, like the way he carries himself, the stuff he's been doing, you know, I respect it. And he could be that guy if he does it the right way. Could be the face of British wrestling if he does it the right way. So I'd say him. I'd say Tate.
And one last question about the UK before we just get into a couple more things. Like I said, Defy Progress, that relationship and all that, but you've wrestled for Defy in London, and you wrestled Mr. Nick Wayne in that match, nearly 20 minutes in the ballroom.
Yeah.
So I got to ask about that. I got to ask, what was that like? Two young guys from the States going all the way over to the UK and just having a barn burner over there for the UK fans.
I thought it was great. I mean, like when I got told I was going to be a part of it, you know, when you get thrown in, like you just get added. You're not really supposed to be in it. Like I reached out to Defy. I go, listen, I will be there. Like I will find myself. I will be there. Like I just want an opportunity. I want to be there. Yeah. And I have a good relationship with Matt Farmer, the promoter for Defy. And you know, he was like, oh, you know, I'll let you know. And when he said yeah, and I got my flights booked and everything, you know, I didn't know what I was doing until it got announced. So I didn't even know I was wrestling Nick. I immediately thought like, oh, you know, I'll be in a scramble, maybe a tag match, maybe like what I did at Progress, right? Like the 6-man tag or the 8-man tag, whatever we did. Like, that's what I expected. I didn't expect them to give me an opportunity to face a Nick Wayne for everything that he's doing. I mean, the guy's younger than me, but I mean, damn, is he talented? And I knew that from seeing him, but being in the ring with him was different. And man, I appreciated it. I thought it was really cool for me and him being two Americans coming to the UK to do that. Yeah. Two young Americans too. Like we're not like in our 20s and 30s and we've been doing this for 20 years, you know, like we're young guys. I've only been doing this for a short amount of time. And I thought it was really cool for us. I thought it was cool for the UK fans, the US fans, the Defy fans, the Progress fans. It was a win for everybody. I thought it was really awesome.
And I got to ask, because being Irish myself, is there any plans for KC Navarro to make his way over to the Emerald Isle for a run or two?
I would love to. You know, I'm Irish. Not a lot of people know that.
You're Irish?
Yes.
Irish.
Yes. Yes. Okay. It's very shocking. I know.
I'm counting this as an Irish base Irish talent interview. Then that's another one for there we go. Well, I'd love to see you over here anyway, and I know Irish fans would as well. So I'd love to see it. Irish promoters, if you're watching my interviews, because you do, get KC over here because you won't be disappointed. But I do want to ask about that TNA appearance that you did have with Laredo Kid. As you said, you have that Rich Swann victory, but you did get that digital media championship shot, and it was a short match, but it was very a quick match in that sense as well. The pace was very strong. What was that like working for TNA again? Sorry, my brain is just muddled up today because I've had so many interviews. But just what that experience was like again recently.
Oh man, it was great. And I mean, originally, you know, I wasn't even supposed to be a part of that at all.
Man, you're getting thrown into the deep end with all these like.
But that's that, you know, and I no secret, you know, Matt Cardona was a hero of mine. But that I gotta say, like him, it's that always ready mentality.
Yeah,
you have to be always ready. Like, you know, I wasn't gonna go. I knew a friend of mine was gonna go. I wasn't gonna go. I wrestled Ali. Ali kind of was like, "Oh, maybe you should come." And I was like, "Oh, maybe." You know, I wrestled like a lot that weekend too. Like I had like a show that following Saturday and the Sunday as well. So I was like, "Oh, you know, maybe." You know, I'm tired because I've been on the go since the last week of February. I had no work. So like my body, you know, it's catching up. I'm feeling it. And I want to be 100% for Super Strong Style. So like I was like, and I didn't want to just take the ride to do nothing. You know, I knew it was the pay-per-view that day. So I was like, you know, most of the time when it's pay-per-view, there's high chance you're not doing anything. You know what I mean? Unless you're doing like a backstage thing. But I know it kind of at this point, it's kind of hard to make me do a backstage thing with my hair. And, we showed up late. Because we were just going to watch and to see everybody. We left to get food for 2 hours. I walked back in. And they're telling me, get your stuff. You're wrestling Laredo in the main event of the countdown. I'm like, I just ate pizza. I wish somebody told me. But that's that. Like, hey man, I brought something. Told me to bring my gear anyway. You should always bring your gear. And I just brought it just because. I mean, I would have never expected wrestling on the pay-per-view that day. Never. But I had to be ready. The doors are opening in an hour. Card subject to change. They said it on commentary. You never know. I was there. I was ready, and put my stuff on. Let's go. I'm fighting for a title. I'll add another one. Let's go. I'll take it.
And as we're winding down, I do want to ask you, you've had, as you said, you've kind of had a hectic start to the year, slowly going into second half. Obviously, House of Glory, I imagine, is a big priority on your list. The Warrior wrestling title and the future of that is obviously on your mind. But in the second half of 2024, is there any specific goals in mind? Is there any like bucket list? Not bucket list, but is there anything that you're like, I want to do this by the end of the year?
There's a couple matches. There is I don't want to put multiple countries, but I will put one. So I'd like to go to Germany. I would definitely try to get out to Germany. That's definitely one. I mean, obviously now I got to get to Ireland too.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to put extra travel on you.
It won't be in one loop. It could be in a loop. It could all happen in one loop.
That's true.
A wrestler that I definitely want. I'm big on telling my story and sharing my story. And I did that well with Matt Cardona. And a lot of people didn't know. A lot of people knew like, oh, I'm a Roman Reigns guy. It's not a secret to a lot of people, but like nobody knew that I was a ginormous Zack Ryder fan. Like, I mean, I thought I was him. He's the reason I got bullied. Like I almost ruined my life. But like, when I shared my story, that touched people and people didn't expect that. Well, I also have another one, and it's Mr. Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler. I want Dolph Ziggler. I need a match with Dolph Ziggler. I just need it personally.
Yeah.
Like I've been doing a lot on the indies. I have faced a lot of good people, but now I have the opportunity to wrestle people that I grew up idolizing. And if I had that opportunity to do that, and not only that, but like I love cutting promos. So if I have an opportunity to tell my story, like why this match is important to me, then I want to do it. Because there's a lot of matches where you can wrestle somebody and you could be like, I'm gonna beat you. But when it's like, well, I need to beat you, and here's why. I can tell that story. So like Nick Nemeth is definitely a guy that I want to share the ring with.
And before we do finish up, Casey, is there anywhere other than Super Strong Style that you want people to come check you out at in the coming weeks?
Where am I at? Hold on, let me get my phone. I don't even know.
Every I ask this question every time. It's just like I can't remember. It's like wrestlers seem to be the most unorganized people.
Like I know I'm very organized, but like I don't know what's next. So I definitely, if you're in the New York area, House of Glory, 100%. Be at a House of Glory show. They run often. The shows are off the chain. Battlefield Pro Wrestling, which is Alpha Junior's company that is this championship. I am his first ever champion. Let me just put that over real quick. You can check them out. What other titles do I have over here? Oh yeah, the Remarkable Wrestling Championships are in Long Island. You can check me out there. They're a great company as well. I will be at Fight Life in June, which has been a bigger company building up in the New England area. There is a cool show happening on the Jersey Shore. Fight Factory Wrestling. They're doing their first show. Cardona's on that show. Joey Janela, Mike Santana. And then just pay attention to my socials. There's always something new popping up. So, and Northeast Wrestling, I'll put them in there too. You can check me there anytime they're running.
Make sure to check Casey out and all those guys. Casey, you've been absolutely awesome here today. Guys, make sure to follow him. He's one of the hottest young stars in the US, in the world right now. Make sure to keep up with his career, guys. Make sure to keep up with Fightful Overbooked, guys. I don't know if there's going to be any more Super Strong Style 16 interviews, but I'm trying to get as many as possible. Who knows what comes next in this, but yeah, guys, make sure to subscribe, like. See you guys in the next one.